Do you think Spanish La Liga teams are the strongest football teams in the world? Hello, guys, and welcome to the What If League. This is episode 3 of the brand new series Super Leagues, and today we are going to focus on all three Super Leagues as well as the cup competitions in this new format. If you still haven't seen part 1 and 2, please make sure to do so. You can find those videos in my channel and also in the description below this video. Now, it's very important to understand what is the concept here, so I strongly suggest that you check out part 1 specifically if you haven't done so or you have forgotten what is this experiment about. In today's episode, we are now going to focus onto the next 2 weeks. First off, it's week 1, so I'm starting with Super League 1, where we had several games being played in the meanwhile. In Super League One, there was only one game played in this period. It was Milan Benfica, and Milan were victorious 3-0, which is a very good result for them because they were really struggling without any points in the bottom of the table. You can see that now they're in 15th position. On the other hand, this game is putting Benfica in the last position. Sevilla and Roma are also in the bottom of the league at the moment, but it's still very early days, so no real need to make any conclusions. On the other side of the table, we can see that Barcelona are flying high with 12 points from 12 possible, so this is a very good start for them. Their Spanish La Liga friends, Real Madrid, are in second place with only one draw. Manchester United and Inter are trying to chase the pack in third and fourth position with 8 points respectively. Dropping down to Super League 2, where Villarreal is currently leading along Flamengo, and since episode 2, the games that have played were Monaco Athletic Bilbao. Monaco defeated the Basque team 2-0, and also Russian Zenit St. Petersburg managed to win 2-1 against, this is I think Sao Paulo. No, this is Palmeiras, apologies. So Zenit managed to beat Palmeiras 2-1. And we can see that in this league, at the moment, Atletico Mineiro and Lazio are the most struggling teams without any points so far. Sporting Lisbon and Palmeiras have only 1 point. On the other side of the table, Villarreal and Flamengo are flying high with 3 wins each, as well as Santos. Dynamo Kiev is in fourth place with a draw, with 2 wins and a draw. Monaco and CSK Moscow alongside Grêmio have 2 wins as well, but they did not manage to record the draw. Instead, they have losses. I think this is going to be a very, very competitive league, and it's going to be a huge, huge competition until the very end. But we'll see how this evolves in the future. In the next turn, here we see that on the 2nd of September, they played a few more matches. Ajax drew with Lyon 1-1. Bilbao managed to defeat Atletico Mineiro 3-0, with then Botafogo beating Monaco. Then we have, this is I think Cruzeiro, right? Yes, this is Cruzeiro managing to defeat Sporting Lisbon 2-1. Corinthians lost at home to Grêmio. Dynamo Kiev beat, this is Sao Paulo. No, again, this is Palmeiras. Apologies once more. I need to remember those abbreviations. Flamengo beat Shakhtar 2-1. Lazio lost to CSK Moscow. Valencia were defeated by Santos at home, and Villarreal beat the Russian Zenit 2-1 in their home stadium. In Super League 3, things are not going easy as well. We can see that Hoffenheim is leading that league with 3 wins out of 3 games. And at the bottom, River Plate, Olympiacos, and Cruz Azul are yet to record any points. Unfortunately for them, they only managed to be defeated so far. Hoffenheim, on the other hand, are flying high with their 3 wins, and they are being chased by Marseille with 7 points, Feyenoord, Besiktas, Schalke, Fluminense, PSV Eindhoven, and Wolfsburg each with 6 points. So this is also going to be very interesting to see how it pans out. In the last results, we can see that Boca Juniors defeated Everton on the 27th of August. Fenerbahce lost to their Turkish compatriots Besiktas 1-2 at home. So this was a very fierce derby game, I guess. Marseille drew with Sao Paulo, and PSV Eindhoven managed to beat Leverkusen. Then in the next round, Besiktas beat PSV 3-0. So this is very interesting. You can see Besiktas and PSV are both with 6 points. They're really trying to catch up with the leaders here. Chivas lost to German Wolfsburg at home, 0-1. Club America lost to Hoffenheim 2-3 at home as well. Everton also managed to record a home defeat after being beaten by Marseille 2-3. Feyenoord won at home to Borussia Mönchengladbach. Fluminense beat Schalke. Leverkusen beat Cruz Azul at home quite astonishingly 4-1. Olympiacos lost at home to Real Sociedad 1-2, and here Sao Paulo and Fenerbahce drew at home in Brazil, actually 1-1. We see that here are the struggling teams at the bottom are also Everton and Fenerbahce. Everton only have 1 point, while Fenerbahce have 2 points. So this is going to be very interesting to see how the leagues form with time, who are going to be the different groups that are going to be formed of top teams, middle teams, and then the struggling relegation battling teams. Going another division further down the line into Super League 4, we see that Real Betis and Tigres are now leading that league with 9 points each, so they have 3 wins out of 3 games. They are being followed by Kyon, Newcastle, Espanyol, Atlético Nacional. Kyon and Newcastle have 7 points, while Espanyol and Atlético Nacional 6 points each. In the bottom of the table, Celta Vigo and Nice have not yet recorded any points, while Pumas and Spartak Moscow are also struggling with only 1 point against their names. On the 27th of August, they played a couple of games. Krasnodar drew with Newcastle 1-1 at home, while the other Russian team, Spartak Moscow, lost at home 0-2 to Turkish Galatasaray. On the 2nd of September, they played a few more games. Anderlecht beat Leicester 2-0. Atlético Nacional lost to Tigres 1-3. Basel drew with Krasnodar. Espanyol defeated 3-0 San Lorenzo. Galatasaray lost at home to Newcastle. Red Bull Salzburg beat very comfortably 4-0 Nice, the French Nice. Real Betis also recorded an easy win 4-1 against English Southampton. Torino lost at home 1-3 to Köln, and Vasco da Gama drew with the Russian Spartak Moscow. Now the last Super League, Super League 5, we see that here leaders are Italian Sampdoria. They are leading with 9 points. Then they're being chased by Stoke and AZ Alkmaar with 7 points. FK Copenhagen, Deportivo Genoa and Hertha Berlin are just behind them with 6 points each. In the bottom of the table, we can see Bordeaux and Pachuca with 0 points, but keep in mind that there are no relegated teams from this division, so the worst thing that is going to happen for them is that they're going to be stuck for another year. And considering that only the top 5 teams are getting any money from their positions, which means that there is not going to be a significant difference from teams from 6th place until the very last place here in this league. So it's safe to say that we're probably going to see a lot of teams stuck in Super League 5 for quite a lot of time. Looking at the results, on the 27th of August, Bordeaux lost at home to Hertha Berlin, while Pachuca lost to FC Copenhagen as well at home 0-1. On the 2nd of September, Atalanta beat at home Mainz 1-0. Celtic lost to Frankfurt at home. Deportivo beat West Ham at home 3-1. Genoa lost to Sassuolo. This was an Italian derby 1-2. Hertha Berlin lost to Sampdoria at home, and Internacional drew with Monterrey. Malaga also drew with AZ Alkmaar, while Stoke managed to defeat Pachuca 2-0, and this is how this division is now developing. Moving to the cup competitions and the Super League Cup, we had one round that was played in the meantime. The 30th of August, we saw Atlético Mineiro defeating PSV Eindhoven after extra time, Bordeaux beating Vasco da Gama, FC Copenhagen eliminated Genoa, while Grêmio defeated Ajax, Hoffenheim beat Chivas, and Wolfsburg defeated Club Brugge. The interesting thing here is that all of those teams that managed to progress were the hosts of their respective games, so none of the visitors managed to record any wins. Let's see what happened in the Super League Trophy, which is the lower league cup here. No games were played in this trophy. Let's also now have a look at the Super League Masters. There weren't also any games played in that domestic cup, so only the Super League Cup apparently had fixtures to play. Now I'm going to fast forward another week into the future to see how things progress. We are now at the 10th of September, so this is another week into the future, and Super League 1 we have one round more of games that have been played. Arsenal defeated Milan 2-1, Atletico Madrid lost at home to Manchester City, Barcelona beat Paris Saint-Germain, and Benfica managed to defeat Napoli at home. Chelsea also recorded a very prestigious win against Real Madrid 1-0, while Porto defeated Dortmund quite comfortably 3-0. Inter lost at home to Tottenham 2-3. Liverpool drew with Juventus. Manchester United drew with Bayern Munich, and Roma lost at home to Sevilla. Looking at the league table, Barcelona continued to fly high with 5 wins out of 5 games. Real Madrid now have recorded a loss. This was against Chelsea, and are equal on points with the Blues with 10 points. This is 5 points behind the leaders Barcelona, so this is already quite interesting development here. Manchester United, Manchester City each have 9 points behind them, with Inter and Arsenal with 8 points. Then in the bottom of the table we can see Dortmund, Napoli, Roma, Milan and Atletico Madrid. All of those teams have only 3 points against their names. This is very interesting how things are going to develop. PSG and Bayern Munich on the other hand have 4 points and are also in a very difficult situation. But once again, it's still very early days. As you see, those teams have played 4 or 5 games so far, so there is still a lot to be played, and I'm sure that things are going to change significantly until the end of the first season. Dropping down to Super League 2, where currently we see that the table has undergone some changes. We see that here we have Santos leading with 10 points behind them are Villarreal, Monaco, Flamengo with 9 points. Lyon is with 8 points, and then we have 3 more teams with 7: Dynamo Kiev, the Russian Zenit St. Petersburg, and another Russian team, CSK Moscow. So it's going to be an interesting chase here. In the bottom of the table, we see Atletico Mineiro is the only team that has not yet recorded any points. Lazio has 1 point, and Ajax and Cruzeiro have 2 points each. Actually, not Cruzeiro, of course, this is Palmeiras. Palmeiras and Ajax have 2 points each and are also in a very difficult position. In the results, we can see that Atletico Mineiro lost at home to Botafogo, CSK Moscow drew with Corinthians, while Grêmio lost at home to Valencia. Lyon defeated Villarreal, Monaco defeated quite comfortably Ajax, Santos drew with Athletic Bilbao, Palmeiras drew with, this is Cruzeiro, so Palmeiras and Cruzeiro drew 2-2. Shakhtar drew with Lazio, Sporting Lisbon defeated Flamengo, and the Russian Zenit beat the Ukrainian Dynamo Kiev. In Super League 3, there is a 4-way tie at the top. Feyenoord, Besiktas, Hoffenheim and Wolfsburg all have 9 points each. Leverkusen, Schalke, Marseille, Fluminense and PSV are chasing them with 7 points. So this is very, very interesting. A lot of teams are trying to get on top early days here. In the bottom of the table, Cruz Azul and Olympiacos are yet to record any points, while Everton have only 2 points against their name. River Plate and Fenerbahce with 3 points are just above the relegation zone. So this is very interesting here how things are developing, and I'm sure it's going to be a fierce battle in Super League 3. Going to see the results, we see that on the 3rd of September, River Plate lost at home to Boca Juniors. This was an Argentinian derby, and Boca were victorious here while they visited River Plate. On the 9th of September, Boca Juniors, unfortunately for them, lost at home to Feyenoord. Borussia Mönchengladbach drew with Fluminense. Cruz Azul lost to Besiktas at home. Fenerbahce drew with Everton. Hoffenheim lost to Leverkusen. This was a German derby, so Bayer Leverkusen won their visit to Hoffenheim. Marseille lost at home to River Plate, while PSV drew with Sao Paulo. Let me just check if this is Sao Paulo. Indeed, yes, it is Sao Paulo. So PSV drew with Sao Paulo. Real Sociedad defeated Club America. Schalke drew with Chivas, and Wolfsburg beat Olympiacos. In Super League 4, we have a clear leader here. Tigres is leading the way with 4 wins out of 4 games with 12 points. They're being chased by Real Betis and Newcastle with 10 points, and Espanyol with 9. Beneath them are Kyon and Vasco da Gama with 7, and in the bottom of the table we can see Pumas and Spartak Moscow with 1 point each. Just above them are Nice, Leicester, Anderlecht and Galatasaray with 3 points. So this is going to be another tough battle here for safety and survival in this league. The games that have been played in the meantime, we see Pumas lost at home to Celta Vigo on the 3rd of September. Then on the 9th of September, we have several more games being played. Anderlecht lost at home to Tigres 1-2. Atlético Nacional were very heavily defeated at home by Newcastle 0-4. Basel lost at home to Nice. Kyon lost at home to Krasnodar. Espanyol defeated Leicester at home. Red Bull Salzburg drew with Southampton. Real Betis drew with Celta Vigo, and Torino lost at home to San Lorenzo. The last game at that day was Vasco da Gama Galatasaray, and the Brazilians won 1-0. Moving down to Super League 5, we see that we have Sampdoria leading the way yet again another week. Four wins out of 4 games. So we have then Deportivo and Genoa with 9 points. Stoke is in 4th place with 8 points. And AZ Alkmaar and Hertha Berlin with 7 each. In the bottom, Monterrey and West Ham with 2 points. Internacional, Mainz, Pachuca and Celtic with 3 points each. As I said, there is no relegation in this league, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens until the end. Club Brugge won at home at the 3rd of September. They defeated Racing Club, while FC Copenhagen lost to Bordeaux. On the 9th of September, a few more games were played. AZ Alkmaar were beaten by Genoa at home 0-2. Bordeaux drew with Stoke. Frankfurt drew with Bruges. Mainz drew with Malaga. Monterrey lost at home to Deportivo, while Pachuca quite comfortably beat Internacional 4-1. Racing Club drew with Atalanta at home. Sampdoria defeated FC Copenhagen at home. Sassuolo drew 1-1 with Hertha Berlin, and West Ham managed to record a 2-2 draw with Celtic. There was another game to be played in the Super League Cup. We see that Nice lost at home to Stoke 1-3, so Nice were eliminated and Stoke continued to the next round. Stoke are a Super League 5 team that defeated Super League 4 contestant Nice, so it's something that we can consider kind of a surprise. And before I finish this episode 3, I just want to quickly also show you the transfers that happened until now. So the transfer window has closed, and we see that these transfers are now final until the January transfer window opens. In Super League 1, the top transfer is still Andrea Belotti. You can check that in the previous episode. Radamel Falcao then. We have Luan joining Dortmund for £24 million. Daniele Rugani and Emre Can joining PSG. This is also old news. Angel Correa joining Juventus. So we don't have really a lot of new transfers for a lot of money. Let's see, we have at the bottom a lot of loan deals here. We see that a lot of players have been sent out on loan, so this is nothing too surprising. Going down to Super League 2, the top transfer is still Falcao's move to Chelsea. We have also Luan's move to Dortmund here. Leon Goretzka joined Monaco. Karim Bellarabi joined Monaco as well, while Kasper Dolberg was sold from Ajax to West Brom. So we also saw that the last time as well, I think. Not a lot of interesting transfers in this league as well. I think it would be more interesting to see per team. So if you guys want to see the transfers of a specific team, let me know, and I will focus on that in particular. Let's just quickly go back to Super League 3, and I'm going to leave you for a moment to have a look at these transfers and evaluate them themselves. I'm going to scroll a bit down to see the rest of the transfers and see if there is something interesting here. I'm just not sure what is considered interesting when we have 100 teams in focus, and these are the top 100 teams in the world. So almost all of these transfers would be interesting indeed. You can see that the amounts being thrown around here are getting less and less, and we are now getting into the loans. Let's see Super League 4. And what is happening in Super League 4? This is the league where Torino are playing, and that's why we still see Andrea Belotti's transfer here. We also see Ben Chilwell, Eric Peters, Miguel Veloso joining Galatasaray. Who else is here? We have a lot of interesting players. Fernando Belushi has joined Chievo, Leonardo Loa has joined Swansea, Charles has joined Anderlecht from Internacional. A lot of transfers have taken place. The teams are getting ready for this very interesting challenge, the Super Leagues. And in Super League 5, we see Kieran Tierney joining Stoke from Celtic, Wendell joining joining Celtic this time. Apologies. Eric Peters has been sold to Spartak Moscow, Miguel Veloso to Galatasaray, as we already noted. Scrolling down a bit, we can see a lot more transfers. Now the transfer sums are really getting small. And I'm sure that if I scroll further, there will be the free transfers and the loans. Indeed, quite a lot of free transfers and loans here. Okay, so I think this is enough for episode 3. So Let me know what you guys think. I think that it would be very interesting to experiment this one, and I hope that it develops quite a lot. So if you haven't seen the previous part, check out my channel or the description below. I will leave links for you there. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for the channel if you haven't already. That way you are going to follow it and receive notifications for when I upload new videos. In the meantime, you can also check out my social media. Links will be in the description. I would love to see from you what do you guys think about this. So please leave a comment if you have any opinion, or if you want me to focus on a specific team or league, or if you want to see something more concrete. Then I think that's it for now. Thank you everybody for watching. Until the next time, and bye.